Here's what a lot of people don't realize. The reality is, if you look at payments as far as renting a home goes versus a payment and financing a home, the costs are usually relatively similar. For example, if you were to rent a home that maybe has a value in this market of about $500,000, you're probably going to be paying $2,500 to $3,000 a month in rent. And if you were to put 20% down and go get a mortgage, you're going to have about that same amount of a payment in a mortgage payment. So obviously people know the difference between renting and owning, but here's some of the little things that a lot of our clients don't realize once we really dive into it. We have a lot of rental clients that say, look, I've got money, but I'm gonna rent for now. And one, I'm gonna watch the market. And two, I'm gonna build up my savings so that I can afford a nicer home in the future. The reality is the appreciation in the market typically outpaces what someone can save while they're waiting to buy. So that $500,000 house over a year becomes a $600,000 house, and they have not put $100,000 in savings. I've really never seen that work out for anybody, with the exception of if you would have timed the market perfect and bought in the bottom of the recession, say 2010 or 2011, you may have been on the upside of the market if you rented and waited. But 96 out of the last 100 years in our Salt Lake market, you would have been better off just jumping into the market and buying. The other little factor that people don't often consider when they're putting their money into a savings account and saving while they rent versus buying because maybe they're frustrated that interest rates are high is the cost of inflation. Now, typically in my generation and during my career, we haven't worried much about inflation. The reality is the last couple of years, inflation's been on everyone's minds. And inflation costs can be 3, 4, 5, possibly even 6%, like we saw over the last 18 months. And a 6% annual inflation rate really just obliterates the value of your money as it sits in a bank account. Versus if you were to get a mortgage, even with higher interest rates, obviously you get the tax savings, obviously you own the property. But if you look at an amortization table, that's a table that shows your payments month to month over the 30-year time span of your mortgage. And you get to see how much of the payment is going to interest and how much of the payment is going to principal. Most mortgages, about a third of the initial payment is going to buy down the principal. So on the $500,000 purchase, if you put $100,000 down, which is 20%, and mortgaged $400,000, that first payment, about a third of it is going to pay down that $400,000. So over time, there's 3 different ways you're making money and building your wealth by owning versus renting. It's really a no-brainer.